So in this video, I want to talk about how learning can give you agency. So there's a lot of uncertainty, burnout, where people believe that their actions don't really mean anything, or anxiety, and they feel like they're lost. And usually what they do is that in order to help them deal with these emotions, they'll reach for food, drugs, or alcohol, and maybe doom scrolling. But I want to talk about a different solution, which is agency. In order to get agency, I want to share two frameworks that I found to be very helpful. The first one is from Daniel Priestley on his YouTube channel, and what he says is that anxiety is a lack of confidence, and a lack of confidence comes from your inability to predict. And your inability to predict comes from not having enough data in order to make a prediction. So his solution to fixing your anxiety is to first, before letting your mind run wild, you should go out and get data and then try to make predictions. The second framework comes from Professor John Vervaeke, which is the Agent Arena framework. In this framework, agency is a measure of the capability of an agent within the arena. So for example, a tennis player that is in a football stadium would have low agency, but if you place the tennis player on a tennis court, he would display high levels of agency. So what this means for us is that we are all agents that exist within an arena, and if we're feeling anxiety or uncertainty, it's because we are feeling a disconnect to our arena. And the way to get closer to your arena is by learning. Whenever I say learning, I don't mean the kind of learning that you did in school, which is more like studying. Studying is more about gathering a bunch of information, trying to compete with other people to earn positions. Whenever I say learning, what I actually mean is the kind of learning where you are challenging the filter or framing that you have. So what you would be doing is you would be questioning and critiquing the framing that you have. And then if you have enough information or data to say that your framing is wrong, you would be willing to let go of that framing, and then you would adopt a new framing. So this is kind of like how science works, where we have some theory and we go with that theory until we have a better theory. Kind of like Newton's theory of gravity, where we switched it out for Einstein's theory of gravity because we found that it was better than Newton's. So whenever you have a better theory or a better framing, what it does is that it gives you the ability to affect your arena, and then this will give you a better capability, which then will fix that burnout and fix that feeling of being lost because it feels like your feet is planted on the ground. But the problem with this is that it's really hard to do alone, because the framing that you're using is what you're using to see the world, and to critique that and then to let it go is really hard to do, especially without the help of somebody else. And so what I'm trying to do is to create a community of self-learners that can help each other out with these kinds of things.